Well, God bless my fantastic artistic friends and happy Easter. We're going to do a little bit of a religious painting today. I think it's going to be quite fun. And if you do like these kind of videos and these kind of paintings, make sure you give me a big old thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already. Now let's have a look at what we've got done already on the canvas. Happy days. Okay, so this is a 16 by 16 double primed pre-stretched canvas, and what I've done is I've taken some black acrylic and I've painted Jesus Christ on the cross in this black acrylic, and I've done a little bit of a sketch as well where I want some of the elements to be. I've allowed this to dry completely, this acrylic, and then on top of here, up here in the sky, we've got a little bit of linseed oil and titanium white mixed. Put it on there, and then I've rubbed it all off with a cloth, so it's just very lightly slick. Okay, and there's a bit of white in there as well to brighten things up. Okay, what we're going to do is grab a little bit of colour and just colour the sky first. Okay, so what I've got is a little bit of Indian yellow and cad yellow mixed on this big rounded filbert brush. Okay, it's more like a mop, and then just grab a little bit of white, throw that into that, and then we're just going to put in a little tiny glow up here. This is going to be like a silhouette all down here. We'll just go to the body of Jesus and then over the town up here as well, just right over it. Okay, we might smudge that out because we might paint them in black, and black and yellow make a green. We don't want any green buildings. We want to be too bad for the palms, but anyway, we'll just put that colour in just there, like so. We want some big, black, dark clouds. If memory serves me right from the Bible, the sky went black when Jesus finally went to heaven. Okay, so we'll just put that in there, like so. Just throw that brush down. Now we're going to work on some big purpley cloud. In fact, before we do that, well, we've got the yellow on the brush. I'm just going to, there, I think. I'm gonna put some rays just coming from heaven, just there, like that. That gives us a bit of an indication where we're going to work with and work to. Get rid of the brush, and I'm going to mix up a colour of, I think we'll get some alizarin crimson and Prussian blue mixed together. Not much paint. Okay, and then we're going to come up here and we're going to really swirl this up. So create some little cloudy things that are up here. We're going to darken this off as well. That's too purpley at the moment, but it's okay for a base colour. Just be loose. See, I've got some blue on that side. Be loose with these strokes. I want kind of a crazy sky. Okay. Be loose with it. And that linseed oil and titanium white. You can use liquid clear and titanium white. You can use clear gel. You can even use straight titanium white if you wish. Okay, so we'll just do that because we've got the red in with the purple. We're safe to go down slightly to the horizon where this yellow is. Okay, we'll give it some more like that. It's like I've double loaded the brush. That was unintentional, by the way. I didn't purposely double load the brush. Hey, and if you like these brushes, there's a link down into my in the description for some of these brushes. Quite neat. Hog hair. Right. Okay, I'm going to tease all that together and blend it all up. Get this blender brush. We'll blend it all together. Smoothing it all out, and then we can come back and put some wonderful clouds on all this. Okay, with the sky background colours all put in place, they've basically just stained the canvas. All I've done is taken a lint-free tissue, and I've just gone over it all and just wiped it off. There's still a lot of wet paint on there that'll allow us to blend some colour. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take a fan brush, which this one will do, with a lot of black, blue, crimson colours. I don't know if you can see that, but black, blue, and crimson. There you go, just like that. And of course, going to be small clouds down at the bottom. big clouds up at the top. So we can start off down here somewhere. We're just gonna just gently just rock side to side, and then just get larger and larger as we get to the top. Now vary them a little bit. Make some of them go over here. I want big ones up here and dark ones. Oh, they want to be dark. Tiny ones down at the base. Gives it an impression of distance. Because this is where the glow from the heavens is going to be. Just fill up all the canvas. Okay, so with the sky darkness put in place, we're just going to tinker with some little, this is just a little bit of cad yellow and white on a little tiny fan brush. We're just going to put in a couple of little tiny clouds down here. You don't want big ones down near the horizon, really small, delicate ones so you can hardly see that they're there, but they're there. Okay, we're going to have to obviously do something. This tree can't be behind a cloud. There can't be a cloud in front of the tree. Make sure there could be. It's biblical times. Like, we'll work something out with that. I'm just putting little paint on. Little and often is the key. Little and often. If you may need to wipe your brush out before reloading as well. If you pick up some of this dark colour, you don't want to take it into your lights on your palette. What I do is I just wipe it on a little lump next to the colour. You might save this colour that you're picking up and use it on another part of the painting, another element of the painting. So just start at the bottom, little tiny parts, and then when we get up here, really big strokes. Yep, happy days. So the main part of the sky is all done now. The clouds have been shadowed out and highlighted, and I've just got a tiny bit of Indian yellow, and I'm trying to get this in where you can see it go like that. Just Indian yellow and titanium white. I'm just going to pick out some highlights. Now you can do this with a liner brush. You can't see that much, but it just gives the indication that the light's shining up onto the underside of the clouds. Now come back in. You might want to get a clean brush for this, or a blender brush, but just tease them into the painting. Is a nice, neat effect. Looking nice, looking nice. Right then, I'm just going to load up some white. See the palette just on this little flat brush, and we're going to get the angle. That doesn't look the right angle. It looks like it's going down to Jesus' foot, so we're going to change the angle of this and down there to his head. Okay, now we're going to blend this out, so don't worry about it. We're just going to create some streams just like this, nice and gently, like that. Okay, just a little bit there. That first, they might be a bit too strong. We might have to put this cloud back in as well. But we want them kind of like so, and then we'll come back and we'll tease them into the painting. I hope you can see this, but all I've done is taken some of the browns and some. I've even gone into the purples to tie it up with the same sky color, and maybe every now and again a little bit of black, and I've just tapped it on with a fan brush, and then down here where the two hills are going to intersect, we're just going to tap some of this. I've got the tiniest amount of white on there, and just float it back up this hillside, just to soften it, just to soften the texture. You can see lots of different things going on in that hillside. It's still in silhouette, but there's still little bits there. Now we're going to put a couple of plants down here, just some little shrubs, maybe some rocks and things like that you find out in the desert. Okay, for that we're just going to we'll just take this little rounded brush and grab a bit of this this browns colours that you can see there. Okay, just load it up, and where shall we put a stone? We'll put one there. Okay, and bed it down. Okay, there, like that. Of course, we'll put a couple of these in, maybe another one there. Now that might be a bit hard to see, but we'll put some highlights on some of these stones as well, because we don't want it left out. Like that. Okay, and then we'll come back. We'll silhouette those trees and things, and we'll probably put another tree, palm tree, round about here. I think. In fact, we might as well just guide it in now. Oh no, it's gone right over that a distant one. Oh no, we might change his mind in a minute. It's going to be hard to change his mind now. We're going up into the sky. What am I doing? What am I doing? Right, wipe the brush fully off. Wipe it on a paper towel. Don't have to rinse it out, just wipe it and go into some light colours. Okay, so I'm getting a bit of blue. This is from a previous painting, this morning's painting where I painted some mountains. You might not see that one yet because this will come out before that one's up. Okay, but save all your paint, and if this doesn't stick, we'll have to do something else there. It's okay. It's okay. So it's a little bit of a cool highlight just on some of these stones, just there. Just there. Wipe the brush next to the palette and then pick up some more paint. Or did we have another one there like that there? Like so. Now, wipe the brush off, towel, pick up some of this blue, cobalt blue, Winsor & Newton's cobalt blue, and then shadow side, just put an indication of some of this in. Bit hard to see. You've got to squint your eyes to see this, but it's there. There. Like so. There's some stones. Like so. Now I've got to think about this tree now. Well, I decided to change the tree, take the tree out of the painting. It just didn't look right compared to the size of the cross. So what I did is I just rubbed it away with a little rag and then gone back in here with some of this sky colour on the fan brush and just teased it back into the painting. No problems done. We can work with anything, right? So let's just, you can see that I've taken a bit of umber, see, and a touch of white. Maybe darken it off a touch more on the filbert brush. And I'm just going to scrub in. In fact, if I start about here, we'll put the basis of a path down. That goes round there. It might, well, it'll pick up all these colours that are already on the canvas. Some's going to be in shadow and whatnot. Now, the path wants to be tight here and really big down here to give the impression of distance. We're just going to scrub this base colour in just with a filbert brush, nice and loose, no worries at all, just like that. I'm trying to make it rounded so it's like a little divot, you know, like it's been eroded away with the people walking past over many, many years. It gets tighter as it goes behind there. Okay, now we're going to add some more colour to that, but we're not going to go too crazy because we'll finish it off the colour, the path as we get going. Just want to build up different layers of undercolour as we go down. A bit more there, like so, just to give us something to work with. We're going to have some rocks on here. Push that little mound back, just like that. And as I had the blue on the brush earlier, I put some here. Okay, so we'll put, that can be a shadow colour. We'll just put whatever dirty colour we've got on the brush down here. Just like that. That easy. Okay, I don't know how we're going to make them. Don't want them symmetrical, so we'll work on that as we progress into the painting. So with a bit of mixture of all colours on here, really, black, browns, yellow ochre, a little bit of cad yellow as well thrown in there. I'm just going to make plenty of paint on here it's silhouetted. I'm just going to tap gently around the cross. We're going to come back and pop in all this up there, but we just want to put some of this colour down there. Wherever this wants to go, let it go. And it follows that natural angle down there. Again, this is just an undercolour because we can come back and put all kinds of things. If it's a deserty scene, which it will be, there'll be lots of sand and stones and rubble and all sorts up here. So just got to take us time putting this in. Vary the colours, so I get off this what's on the brush, and then pick up. I'm going to change the flavour a lot with some yellow ochre thrown in there, and I'm going to mix them all together. Now this is a good way of making grasses and everything as well. I don't know if you can see the difference in colour there, but there's something there. Again, pick up a bit more colour, maybe up there. A little bit of red on that one. It's all right. There would have been a lot of blood up here once upon a time. Just gently put it around there, around the cross. So this is behind the cross. Again, we'll just come back and rub all this off before we paint the cross on. So I've taken a cloth, a lint-free rag, basically, and I've just blotted off all the undercolour, removed all the excess paint, all the excess oil that we don't need, and that'll give us a good key for our secondary colours to stick to. Okay, the canvas is wet and we're putting wet paint on top of wet paint. So again, this is just wet on wet painting, just a different format. So with a fan brush and some of this highlighty colour, we're just going to creep up here and just start in the light spot and work away from the light. Just tap in some colours and vary the colours. Every time you need to hit the palette, hit a different colour. Pick a different colour up. There we go. Happy days, eh? I know this is not true to the Bible or anything like that. You know, this is just my interpretation of it, but we're giving it a good go. Now, I added some rocks here and there, and I'm just putting in a little bit of greenery, some foliage. It's so dark you can't see, but I thought it needed a little something, some little sprigs of palm and whatnot's just sneaking in here and there, just to give it some colour, really. I've painted these before. I painted one a couple of years ago where it was just an orange sky, you know, orange-ish sky with a dark, almost black silhouette of the cross. And I enjoyed painting that, so I thought we'd do it again. We'll do it a little bit more detailed, I think. So just little things up here, different greens as well. Just shove in a few different things off the fan brush just down there, like that. Maybe a bit of green colour over there. Can't hardly tell. I've also included a little bit of bright red down there, and it's mixed with the colours that are down there, so it's got like a nice crimsony colour in places. So there'd have been some blood where Jesus was stabbed. It's like a filbert brush, but it's flat, if you know what I mean. Okay, and I'm just going to just put there's some detail on this path. Scrub it in. There, like so. Working from the highlight side to the shadow side now. Probably want a few pebbles and stuff on this path as well. We can build up lots of colour. It seems to have shrunk that path. I might have to shrink it down up here as well, because I don't want it looking too big here and thin here. Maybe we might make it a bit thicker there. Take it off like that and just work on the path. Maybe get a blue purpley colour. But we'll pick that blue purpley colour up and then just add it there. Maybe a bit more of the purple there. Like that. Oh, that's nice. this side. Keeping the brush all dirty at the time, you get lots of variants of colours as we go along. Yeah, I'm liking it. I'm hoping you guys are enjoying this as well. Okay, so let's work on the rocks in the foreground. So I'm mixing up a little bit of a rocky colour, highlight rocky colour. It's just like a grey, yellowy grey colour. And I'm using an old rounded brush for this, and I think the old rounded brushes work well for stonework, you know, with the frayed bristles and everything, the worn out bristles. They give it a little bit more life and a little bit more texture than the new brushes. That's just my opinion though. And I'm just picking out the highlights on these stones. Now I'm not making them symmetrical, I'm trying to give them some life and individuality. You know, rocks need individuality as well, don't they? I think I heard that somewhere once upon a time. But yeah, just pick them out, work on each big stone at a time and make it individual and unique. There we go. Just ploughing the paint on. I'm not blending it into the undercolour at all. I'm just ploughing it on. Because we dampened it down with a lint-free rag, it can stick quite easy. We don't have to thin the paint down for this method. Now let's make some shadowy colour. So I'm going to mix in a little bit of cobalt blue. This is Winsor & Newton's cobalt blue. Still into that dirty colour now. If you see the state of my palette there, that is a mess. But we're painting on top of the painting that we've already mixed previously, and that will carry out throughout the painting. Good way of building colour through the painting as well. There we go. So we're just putting in some shadow work. Now while I'm doing this shadow work, I just want to remind you guys that I have an Etsy shop where you can buy my paintings if you want to, or just browse the paintings that I've got on sale there. And that is on Etsy, and it's MasterTemple Arts. You know, I've got to get that little bit of self-promotion in, haven't I? You know. But yeah, all we're doing now is just putting in some shadow work. Think like a stone. I think one of my idols once said, you've got to think like a stone, you know, to paint the stone, and that's definitely true. So we're just putting some shadows in. We could get a little bit of a darker colour every now and again, and make it really deep shadow as well. There we go. And of course we'll come back in and we'll pop some secondary highlights on top of these stones as we progress into the painting. Happy days, yeah? Happy days. Okay, down here, let's have a little look. So I've taken just a little tiny liner brush and a little bit of black. No oil, and I'm just tinkering, if that's a word. I'm just putting in a few little minor little indications of some black dark bits and pieces that are out here in the sand. Just like that. Okay, you don't have to go too neat with these, just as long as they follow the layer of the land. A good way of just encasing these stones into the sand as well. Okay, and it gives an extra colour, an extra bit of something there as well. Now we're going to put some highlights on this. This side's almost finished. I might put something on, not like a little bit of a burn or something like that. But for me, this side's finished, so I'm going to take a touch of oil and mix it into some of this pale yellow colour on another liner brush, and turn the liner brush, spin it around so it comes to a nice point, and right where the sun's gonna hit, we're just gonna pop on a nice little glow, just like that, just right there where the sun's hitting some of these. It's not sun, is it? It's heaven. It's the heavens have opened, and Jesus is going to meet his dad. Yeah. Just like that, just another extra bit of detail in those stones, and it sets it off so nice. Yeah, like that. As you get less paint on the brush, just tinker with it. Yeah, there, like that. I don't want to overdo because that could kill the effect. Maybe some specks down here as well. Can't hear anything. Looking good, looking good. Okay, I've got a mixture of black, burnt umber, bit of Van Dyke brown, bit of burnt sienna, just all mixed there, just on the brush on this little tiny well, actually it's a number 2 fan brush. And we're just going to drop in some of this wood. Okay, so we'll just go straight over. We'll just try and leave that little plaque at the top for Jesus' name. Okay, but we'll just put in some of this wood right there. This a bit. Down, right down there, like so. Okay, I think his feet start about there. We're just going to make the silhouette of Jesus a little bit of a different colour. I paled off some of the ground as well around the base, just so we can have a little bit of light coming towards him. Okay, wipe and reload, and then we'll go this way. Need a really flat brush for this. Try and get really detailed in. Now, it doesn't matter if it's completely true, because it's going to be an old weathered plank for sure. I'm sure of it. Won't have been cut true by the joiners 2023 years ago. 2,000 years ago. Okay, just like that. And then maybe try and sneak a bit on the top, just there. Like that. There. With the corner of the fan brush. Just like that. And then like we would do with a tree. I'm going to widen the bottom like a tree then. Don't do that, Dan. Okay, so like we do with tree bark, we can highlight some of the sides, put some shadows in. But we need to put our Lord Jesus Christ in as well. The palette down for this, because I've got a nice peachy woody colour, and there's no dry place to put your finger, so I'm just going to try. It's a mixture of all colours really in this. I'm just going to paint the main body in pink, like a pinky colour. It's not really, it's just like a skin tone. We don't have to be 100% real and true, as long as we get the main elements in. That linseed oil from Winsor & Newton is amazing. It just makes the colour flow forever. The edge of the canvas, down on one leg, there. Very tricky work. Let's wipe and reload. Very tricky work, because it's got to be right, yeah. Fill this in. It's where his undergarments are going to be. Leg comes down there, like that. Okay, I'm just going to spend a few minutes painting this in. God, it's come alive. Looking good. Like that. Shots. Just some space, a little light space. These ground flowers. So, then we'll put some really dark colours underneath his feet, so it's black. When I've got that thin oil on the brush, I'm just putting some the other two crosses that are up here. And we'll just pull straight down. Thickness of this liner brush is adequate. Get down there. And straight across. There was no real detail needed for these two. They're not the star of the show, are they? But we'll put a bit of shadow on the ground, something like that. Okay, and we still need to do the note up at the top, don't we? Okay, let's carry on with this. I'm taking a little bit of all the browns and white just to make a little bit of a woody highlight colour. I'm just going to tap on just some wood grain. Watch the hands because they're very oily and slippy. You don't have to go mad. We don't have to go mad at it. Okay, it's just a little indication of some wood grain. Let's tap this in. Get darker down here under the foot stand. Bits at the top. I still haven't put that note in, but that plaque above Jesus's head, but we'll do that very soon. Once I've done this, that's the time to do it. I'll just put some of this wood grain in very carefully, very, very precise. I'm going to change the flavour now and put a bit of blue into this wood colour. Just a bit of that cobalt blue and that wood colour. It might go a crazy green, but it's alright, I think. I just want a bit of blue on this side in the shadow. Be confident. Be confident you can do it. You can do it. We've all told ourselves that we can't too many times, and we can. We know we can. Just taken a little bit of oil and some really dark black. Okay, we need to put some initials up here, so I'm just going to pop the palette on the bench. This takes a steady hand because I don't want to damage any of the painting up here. We need to write in Jesus' initials, so it is I N I N. Yes. And the final I. Jesus of Nazareth, King of Jews. Just a few twigs and sticks down in the bottom corner, just like that. And I think we're about finished. Well, That is an absolutely fantastic painting, if I do say so myself, and it really tests you with the equipment. If you give this one a go or something similar, please tag me into one of my social medias. The links are down in the description. If you've enjoyed this video, give me a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe so you can see more videos like this. Have yourself an happy Easter, and until next time, take care of yourself, stay safe, happy days, God bless.